Well, good evening, everybody. Swamp Fox News, cooks, and reviews coming at you with another 9 p.m. Newscast News Blast. Hope everyone's doing well. Give it a minute, as usual, to let people come in while I start the show. Joanne, Oregon Rogue, how are y'all doing? Thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you showing up. Make sure y'all smashing that like button on your way in. Louie, what's up, my brother? How are you? Vet Tech Kimmy, thank you for being here. Appreciate you showing up. Got a pretty good show tonight. Hope everyone's doing well. Patricia, feeling a little bit better. Believe it or not, though, I still have a sour stomach. My head ain't hurt no more or nothing like that, but my stomach's a little upset and sour still from yesterday, but my head ain't hurting, so that's good. Hey, how you doing? Just a little jaded. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. For those of y'all, most of y'all might know each other in here so far, but if you don't, check out each other's channel. Make sure that you follow each other. My head's oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. I tell you what, when I got a headache, when it's just like a migraine headache or a headache, I go to get that generic. It's like Excedrin, but it's generic at Walmart. It's got 65 milligrams of caffeine in each tablet, along with like acetaminophen or whatever. It knocks my headaches out pretty quick. Yesterday I had food poisoning, so that was a little different. I'm glad to hear you sending prayers. Thank you so much, Patricia. I sure appreciate that. Dylan, Shay, thank you for being here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started with the show. Now this cop here, this story is by Nathan Dimoff, y'all. Nathan Dimoff. This is a video of a cop who arrested two different 6-year-old kids in one day at two different schools. This is unbelievable. You know, you teach your kids, or not, I wouldn't, but a lot of people teach their kids to respect law enforcement, to go to them when they're in danger. You know, you're supposed to, I guess run to them if you're in danger or whatever. But more and more every day, they're proving that they're not someone to run to. They're actually people to run from. And luckily, this guy was fired. But you know how that goes. He was fired from this police force, but he's going to be hired on another one because he's not going to jail. He's not going to prison or anything like that. He's just been fired. The reason why I know he's probably going to be working somewhere else is because he admitted that in his, I think, 28 years or 30-something years of being a police officer, he says he made a 7,000 arrests. And before this 6-year-old, his youngest arrest was a 7-year-old. And he was proud of that. And he was proud that this 6-year-old broke his record. Anyway, it's just amazing what these people do. All right. It's so crazy. Orlando police officer Dennis Turner bragged she was the youngest person he's ever arrested. The previous record was 7. When Orlando police officer arrived at the Lucius and Emma Nixon Academy last September, Kaya Rowley was 6, was sitting in the office listening to a school employee read a story. What are those for? Rowley asked the cops about the zip tie one of them was holding. I can't believe that. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all watch it. There for you, Orlando Police, Dennis Turner says, as the second officer tightens them around her wrist, as the school employee tells the girl she must go with the cops. No, don't put handcuffs on, the girl's pleading and crying. but the cops were determined to take her to jail after school administrators accused the girl of kicking and punching 3 employees. Her grandmother, Marilyn Kirkland, said she was only acting out because she suffers from sleep apnea and was sleep deprived that day in September. But in the eyes of the police and school administrators, she was a criminal and needed to be jailed rather than be sent home for a nap. The incident took place September 19th and led to the firing of Turner. Here's the video. Y'all tell me what y'all think.
Yeah. The desert goes.
Okay, she's gonna have to come with us now.
Okay, guys, we gotta go with them, baby girl.
Stand up.
I'm gonna stop this. That is a bad school. Whoever she is, whatever her job is, maybe she's some kind of principal or something because she's in an office by herself, or maybe a guidance counselor. She should have never let that child go with this thug after what she seen he was about to do to her. She should have stood up and protested. She's a lose her job.
Where are those for?
It's for you.
Keep your head, okay? Come over here, honey. It's not gonna hurt.
No, I want to die. No, I can die. Please, help me, please, help me.
Let's go.
You're gonna help pick you up, okay?
Oh, I was in school. I just got you.
Come on, let's go.
No, please let me go.
Okay, come on. You can tell me what happened in the car, okay?
I don't want to go to the police car.
You don't want to?
No, please.
You have to.
No, please. You can't take it back. I don't want to do this. No. Please.
That breaks my heart to watch any child be tortured like that. And they think this child's going to grow up and think that police are good.
Appreciate it. Call me if you need something.
It's totally ridiculous.
The restraints are necessary.
Yes. And if she was bigger, she would have been wearing regular handcuffs. But the youngest I've ever arrested was 7.
He's bragging.
And he was stealing out of Albertsons and thought it was a joke. All the rest of the kids are crying and he's laughing. And so that's the only reason he went to jail. He didn't think it was serious.
Did he still drive around the block and bring it back? I'm tired. I never saw it. Wow.
6,000 people I've arrested over the 28 years. It's a lot of people.
Yeah, you bragging about that. Instead of helping those people,
7 is the youngest.
arrested them.
She's 8, isn't she? She's 6. Now she has broken the record.
You hear that? He's bragging that she broke his record of arresting a 7-year-old. Now it's a 6-year-old. Exactly. It's disgusting. All right, let's get to the next story. Now, so I want y'all to understand why I'm showing this next clip. And all of this is Creative Commons fair use for education. So the reason I'm showing this next clip is because they felt it necessary to arrest this little girl who was 6 years old for kicking and punching 3 adults, evidently. 3 adults that felt that she needed to be arrested, handcuffed, scared the living crap out of her and taken to jail. All right. So they felt it necessary to arrest that. But you're getting ready to see an auditor be assaulted on camera by a security guard, and his buddy's a cop, and they don't arrest him. They refuse to arrest him. But another cop does take report. I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm just going to play a few minutes of it. But the moral of the story is they refuse to arrest their own. When it's an adult attacking an adult, they won't arrest them. But yet, when a little 6-year-old child attacks an adult, supposedly, they go arrest her or him, put them in handcuffs, torture them, scare the living daylights out of them, take them down, book them, fingerprint them. I mean, it's amazing. It just truly is amazing. Anyway, the charges against the little girl was dropped. The DA came out and said it was ridiculous. The guy did get fired. But so here you go. Watch this video. Tell me what you think.
You're obstructing an investigation right now. Have a good day.
I'm not talking to you.
I am. I'm talking to you. This is going to be great. Dereliction of duty. He's under arrest.
You guys have the United States flag on your sleeve right there, correct? Right? What does the United States flag stand for? It stands for the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. The first right is a Citizens Amendment to freedom of speech and to free press. I'm sorry, sir?
You know what? You're a fucking scumbag. You're a fucking piece of shit. You don't have that.
That guy, that white-headed guy attacked
He called
us.
us an idiot. He called us an idiot well before.
He attacked me. He attacked me on video. He attacked me on video.
More than welcome to record.
Okay. What? Do you have a problem with First Amendment?
No, I don't.
I'm saying how I feel in a low tone of voice. I'm not being disorderly. I'm letting him know that if you didn't have that gun with you, it'd be a different story. That's what I'm telling you. If you didn't have that gun, it'll be a different story.
You see the old man walk around like he was going to attack him again?
Yes, it would. Yeah, it would. And you better believe that.
Have you ever gotten up in arms about the NSA surveillance? Yes, you are. You're
No,
doing it right now.
That guy with the glasses right there is his
He just
friend.
broke the law, and we have.
And this is a SWAT unit that showed up.
4 police officers that are also breaking the law for obstructing an investigation and dereliction of duty. This is dereliction of
Definitely
duty.
parents are part of the
But
problem.
unfortunately, this is what the thin blue line
Call
is
the
about.
parents, not the
is
police. I agree
I
with that.
assaulted anybody in this building right
Part
now.
of the problem
on
are the
camera.
police or the parents when they
But
let the
this
kids
guy,
get away with
He is
murder.
not going anywhere, unfortunately, right now. Because he assaulted somebody on camera. We have a witness here who saw it. We have several witnesses. And this is...
I've been on both sides of that fence. Should be arrested.
It's a double
should be
standard.
arrested.
And when the
So anyway, if y'all want to watch the rest of this video,
so you're on the side of
y'all
fascism,
can.
sir. Fascism is when the law is applied selectively. So you're on the side of
split
fascism.
screen.
Both sides of that fence.
Auditing in America.
It's a
Y'all should
double
go there and
standard.
watch
And
this channel from
the
January
definition
5th.
of fascism is when the law is applied
Anyway,
selectively. So you're on
Like I
the
said,
side
I'm
of...
not playing the whole video, but that guy right there attacks him, and it's on video. A cop does show up and make a report, but he does not arrest him. He refuses to arrest him. And so there's a report generated, and I don't know what's going to happen about the report, but maybe he'll do a video on it later. So that was just to show that there's no justice for citizens of the United States. They'll arrest and torture that little girl in the first video, and for the you guys and gals who are just coming in, I played a video in the beginning of a little 6-year-old child getting tortured, handcuffed, and she was screaming and crying and all that because she supposedly punched and kicked a teacher, 2 or 3 teachers, and so they arrested her, handcuffed her, put her in the back seat, took her down, fingerprinted her, and all that stuff. Now the cop did lose his job because the same day he went to another school and arrested another 6-year-old child. And they finally, because he was bragging about it and this video went viral, he did get fired. But as Vet Tech Kimmy said, he just went to another district. He's going to get hired there, I'm quite sure. Michelle Mobile Media, thank you for being here. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Michelle's Mobile Media if you don't know her. And make sure that you follow her, please. All right. Now this sick guy right here, man, let me tell you. And it's disgusting how these perverts are. and what they can get away with before and after they, even when they get caught and do some time. Ex-cop convicted for sexually assaulting undocumented men because he had power over them, opens a justice center. Can you believe that? How he's allowed to even do this? This story is by Nardos Arya, Nardosaraya, an ex-deputy who allegedly threatened to deport undocumented men, now wants to help those in jail get out and stay out. And the reason is because he started a nonprofit. I don't know if y'all realize, but when you start a nonprofit, it's basically you can keep all but about 10 or 12% of it, and you really don't have to do a whole lot to show about where the money goes. It's really, nonprofits are really mainly shills for money laundering, basically. So anyway, an ex-Broward County deputy who pled guilty to multiple counts of armed false imprisonment, battery, and stalking has now apparently turned his life around by running a Florida nonprofit designed to help those who have been wrongly accused of crimes. After Jonathan Blewise only served a little over 3.5 years of his 5-year prison sentence for abusing his police authority to coerce young undocumented men into giving him sexual favors, Blewise seems to have found a way to help these people that I met inside, he said. And in order to do so, Blewise has launched a nonprofit criminal justice center based in Fort Lauderdale. Their aim is to get as many people out of jail and equip them with the tools and services necessary to ensure that they won't go back. The former deputy, who is believed to have sexually abused at least 8 victims, was never required to register as a sex offender. Can you believe that? Because once again, the thin blue line, now he says he has seen the light. After serving as a police officer and then convicted, my eyes were open to the injustices of the legal system, reads the caption under Blewise's photo on the nonprofit's website. I started the Florida Justice Center to help those marginalized and disenfranchised by the system. But many people are skeptical. It sounds like I've got a website, send me money and I'll spend it. Broward County Public Defender Howard Finkelstein told the Florida Bulldog he's a bad cop who should have nothing to do with justice, the public defender said. It's a bit ironic that the ex-cop convicted of looming deportation over the heads of undocumented immigrants in exchange for oral sex has taken it upon himself to start a criminal justice initiative, but through the years, Blewise has maintained his innocence. I wouldn't admit to something I never did, Blewise, who told the Florida Bulldog. I've always believed in doing the right thing. I'm trying to keep pursuing that. But the evidence against him suggests otherwise. For starters, every witness and victim that came forward were completely unrelated, yet they all shared the same story. Blewise spots a young Hispanic man, then questions his citizenship status. If he didn't have proof of residency, the Blewise would pat him down and ask for the man's semen. Blewise would even demand their cell phone numbers, so the harassment didn't have to be a one-time deal. Lord have mercy, what a sick person. Even a priest came forward in June of 2008, almost a year before Blewise was arrested, warning county officials that the 6-year veteran was abusing homeless people that came to the soup kitchen, but nothing ever came from Father Bob Daldill's email. Blewise was never investigated or reprimanded. 1 month after Blewise was named Employee of the Year for his district in April of 2009, an attorney contacted Fort Lauderdale police to inform them of a Broward deputy who was sexually assaulting undocumented immigrants. The award-winning deputy was soon arrested and unfortunately fired 2 years later. 2 years later. It took 6 years and some hush money before Blewise's case was closed. When it finally was, he accepted a plea bargain that got him a mere fraction of the potential life in prison he was facing for all 7 cases made against him. Another part of his plea deal was not having to register as a sexual offender. While the civil suits were taking their sweet time to get resolved, many of the victims and witnesses were deported or no longer able to speak to authorities. Even if they could, the undocumented men risked retaliation from the Broward police, who saw openly gay Bloweyes as the bridge into the LGBT community. In an interview with the Florida Bulldog, Navy Rainford Smith, the prosecutor who took over the Bloweyes case, said he found a payment of $3,000 in several settlement agreements, thus ensuring the victims could never testify against the office. And without a sexual offender label haunting him, Bloweyes became the executive director and board treasurer for the Florida Justice Center. Wow. Well, I tell you what, if that don't just blow your mind, then nothing ever will. John Speedway, thank you for being here. It's a little too much. Sorry I missed you coming in. Appreciate y'all showing up. Make sure y'all smash that like button. Big Tim Hill News, how are you, my friend? Landley Lang, thank you for being here. Let's see. If I missed anybody, like I said, I'm sorry. If we got anybody new in the house, y'all make sure y'all go see them and show them some love. Joanne, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. Okay. Now this story here was brought by J&L Services. Okay? J&L Services. This is how the law enforcement of today will try to ruin your life even when they're wrong. This was going to blow your mind. Patricia, how are you? Shardy, thank you for showing up. J&L Services sent me the link to this video, y'all.
My identity and assaulted me. They did not have my rights in mind, because instead of admitting that they were wrong, they charged me with 3 felonies.
911 emergency.
Oh my God, they're pounding him in the head. They're gonna kill this man.
I had gotten out of work early, walking on the sidewalk on a sunny summer day, going to my internship. I was calling my sister at the time and somewhat distracted by looking at my phone when 2 men approached me, stepped toward me off the curb and said, hey, who are you? And I said, I'm James. And they asked me, is that your real name? I said, yes, that's my real name. But one of them stepped behind me, boxed me out, and took my wallet out of my back pocket. So I went to run to flee, and I was tackled and ultimately beaten pretty severely. I was for someone to call the police.
They're beating him up. Like, they're literally assaulting him.
When I was being choked, I feared for my life, truly, and there was a moment where everything went black, and as far as I know, that is as close as you can get to being dead without being dead. The police came, and then that was when I realized that they weren't muggers, but they were just a police detective and an FBI agent.
In this case, the officers were looking for a fugitive with an extremely broad description. James looked absolutely nothing like the photograph the officers had of the fugitive whom they were looking
Burning the hate is correct.
Do you have any weapons on you at all? No, sir, I thought they were trying to mug me.
I remember being loaded into the back of the ambulance, just being so stricken by what had just happened. I was in a great deal of pain when I got to the hospital, and I remember everyone there, the staff, the nurse, even the officer that was in charge.
An innocent man walking home did not look like nothing in the picture that they had. The picture of the guy he didn't look nothing like him. This is just how they are. They had to get somebody. They was so adrenaline rushed to go hurt somebody. They had to get somebody, and he was it. And y'all wait until the end. It's gonna break your heart. A lot of stuff that's going on in this guy's life.
To watching me As I was cuffed to my bed, I remember him loosening the cuffs and telling me that I shouldn't be there. I went directly from the hospital to the jail cell, where I was, stripped of my clothing, given a jumpsuit, given a mugshot, spent the night on a cold jail cell crying. I called my parents and made it there as soon as they could to bail me out.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from James, an inmate at Kent County Correctional Facility.
Hello. Hey. We're getting screwed. I'm going to prison, I think. No, I don't think that. We're going to get a bond and get you out of there. It's $50,000. I know. This is really bad.
After I was released from jail, much to my surprise, the police officers charged me with 3 violent felonies. And I had to go to trial 6 months later. I spent that whole 6 months. I've been the most scared and the most stressed I've ever been in my entire life, having no idea if I'm going to spend the next 10 years of my life in prison for something that I didn't do. I remember my attorneys telling me, most people don't win against the government, and we know that you did nothing wrong, but if they offer you a plea, you should consider taking it. And they did, and I said no. I said, no, I didn't do anything wrong.
What happened to James is not an isolated incident. Typically, people just don't hear about them for any number of reasons. In a situation like James's, where a prosecutor brings several serious felony charges against someone, they'll typically take a plea deal to avoid going to trial and potentially spending decades in prison. And once they do that, their ability to go after the officers or hold them accountable for violating the Constitution basically evaporates.
When the jury came back, they unanimously acquitted me of all charges. I cried, my family ran towards me. I remember as I was walking out of the courtroom, one of the jurors ran up to me and she gave me a hug and she said, I'm so thankful. She said, I knew the whole time that you did not belong there and these men did terrible things to you.
This case illustrates the lack of accountability that takes place when a police officer or an FBI agent violates someone's constitutional rights. One of the main ways that the government avoids accountability for violating the Constitution is through a doctrine that's called qualified immunity. And it says that a government actor is allowed to violate your constitutional rights. You can't do anything about it unless a court has already decided that.
Did you hear that? I'm going to rewind that and play that one more time. Listen to this very carefully, y'all.
Accountability for violating the Constitution is through a doctrine that's called qualified immunity. And it says that a government actor is allowed to violate your constitutional rights. You can't do anything about it unless a court has already decided that the actor's specific actions are in fact a constitutional violation.
After the assault, I dropped out of Grand Valley State University, which I was going to at the time. Parts about everything that I've endured is not just the incident as it happened when it happened, but all the repercussions since then. Missed job opportunities, but I cannot work federal jobs.
For the United States Supreme Court to make things right in James's case and more broadly in constitutional litigation, it needs to revisit this concept of qualified immunity and take a more engaged role in evaluating how difficult it is for plaintiffs to bring lawsuits against government officials who violate the Constitution.
James's case is part of IJ's new project on immunity and accountability. Immunity doctrines turn fundamental concepts of American jurisprudence on their head. If citizens must follow the law, the government must also, and that includes following the Constitution. And following the Constitution means officials being held accountable for violating it. The Institute for Justice represents James to ensure that law enforcement officers can't operate above the law and free from the Constitution they were sworn to uphold. A victory for James will set an important precedent through which members of all state and federal joint task forces will be held to account for their actions.
They were out of control pounding him.
If the United States Supreme Court takes this case and hears it, and it is in our favor, as I firmly believe it should be, I hope that it changes things for the better. I hope that there is accountability for these officers and for the other departments that do this kind of thing and get away with it.
I hear you a little too much. Me too. The sad and bad thing about it all is, you know, why did this guy even have to bail out? Why did this guy have to get a lawyer? Why did his life have to be turned upside down? And now, again, because they have qualified immunity, it has to go to the Supreme Court because the lower courts are letting him get drugged through the ringer. Conspiracy Against Transparency, thank you for being here. I thank everyone for being here. If I missed anybody coming in, I'm sorry. I love you all. I appreciate you being here. I thank you so much. Let me go back and see if I missed anybody new. If anybody's new, if I missed you, I'll go back through and mod you later. And I'll try to catch you now. I got one more video to show you guys. It's really good. Well, it's not good. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a good video, but so you're going to see somebody die. If you don't want to watch that, y'all might want to look away for a minute or two. Before you leave, make sure you smash that like button. I got more in here than I got likes, so what's up with that? It would be easy for the people to pass a law that would make the Fraternal Order of Police Officers an illegal operation. In the very least, they need to be investigated under the RICO Act. Yeah, see, the thing about it is, when they're investigating themselves, we need a non-police civil, like a citizen review board, you know, made up of, I don't know, 20, 30 people maybe, whatever, and we get and legal minds, you know, maybe some good legal minds being as part of it, you know, to help. But the thing about it is, we don't need no police officers looking into police officers, because in that case just now that you just saw that guy got his life ruined, it was a FBI agent and a detective, a local detective. Right. And the thing is, as I keep saying every day, even when this guy, you know, when they do get arrested or when they do, you know, get sued, our tax money is paying the police unions that are paying for the lawyers, okay? It's our tax money that is paying the settlements. Unless every once in a while, like last week I brought you the story of the cops that had to pay out of their pocket. The judge took their qualified immunity away and they was able to sue them civilly. And so, you know, they're going to be paying out of their pocket, which that's very seldom that happens. Most of the time, it's us, the taxpayer, that is losing our money. We're paying them to beat, rob us, and even pull us over and give us tickets and everything else and harass us. And then when we do finally get to challenge them because they did something wrong, we get to take them to court. It's our money paying for their lawyers. It's our money paying if they do lose for the lawsuit. Luckily, every once in a while, they'll do a little time. But look at this pervert that sexually assaulted young men and threatening to deport them. Goes to prison for 3.5 years. Took 6 years to get him there. Goes to prison for 3.5 years. He doesn't have to register as a sex offender, and he's able to open a nonprofit where he's going to make tons of money. Okay, that's how it works. And it's just like the video I showed y'all last night. If y'all didn't watch that, you really need to watch it and listen. I'm telling you guys that these are man-made things. They're scared. Look, we have almost 30,000 people a year to 70,000 people a year die in the United States of the flu, the regular flu. It's almost 70, probably 30,000 is going to die this year. Okay, so this thing that's out there, the CV that's out there, okay. So, I mean, no, not so what? People are going to die. I'm sorry about that, but I'm just saying they're making it more than what it is. They're making the stock market go down. They're doing a lot to try to drive down this country. Okay, we're fighting tyranny every day, but the reason they do these things is because now billions of dollars is being kicked out to help all these countries and to help all these groups and stuff like that, right? They just got $2 billion, and Chuck Schumer saying they should have got 8 or 9 billion, whatever, right? So it's just ridiculous. Now, these billions of dollars are not truly going to go help. Maybe a little bit of it, but it's going to go to line the pockets of all these corrupt, criminal, deep state Republicans, Democrats alike. They're all corrupt criminals, and it's our tax money that's going to pay this stuff. But anyway, I'll let y'all watch this last video. Colorado cop murders an unarmed man while wearing a WWJD bracelet. And for some of you that may not know, that don't believe, WWJD means what would Jesus do? And this story here is from High Impact Vlogs. If y'all don't know Brian, y'all are missing out. Brian has an excellent channel. He used to have High Impact Flicks, but he lost his channel for no reason whatsoever. He had over 500,000 subscribers. He had to start over. He's up to 263,000 subscribers now. He has very excellent content, okay? So I suggest y'all go to his channel and subscribe. But I'm going to let y'all watch the video.
2019 alone, cops in Colorado shot or killed a total of 67 people.
Let me start that.
Holy smackerel! Code for your massive discount for the Patriot Sun Cooker is in the description below.
Alright guys, in 2019 alone, cops in Colorado shot or killed a total of 67 people. Out of those 67 shot or killed, only one cop faced any repercussions. Officer Zachary Helbig was charged with manslaughter last year after he shot and killed an unarmed man for absolutely no reason. And because people are blinded by shiny badges and costumes, last week a jury acquitted Helbig for executing Sean Billinger on January 16, 2019. After the killer cop was acquitted, the body camera footage from that day was released. It's nothing short of shocking and raises serious questions as to how on earth a jury could acquit him. On that fateful January afternoon, Helbig responded to a call at a Shell gas station. The reason for the response remains sealed, but the video shows Billinger was not a threat and was unarmed when Helbig executed him. As this video shows, Helbig is interviewing individuals at the gas station before driving after Billinger. The woman appears to be Billinger's girlfriend.
Okay, I'm just stopping this to make a comment like I always make. This is why you do not send an officer after someone you love. He evidently didn't hurt the girl. He broke up with the girl and she was mad, and so they probably had some words and a disturbance happened to them cussing each other back and forth or whatever, and so the cop came over there, and so she should have just said nothing's wrong and left it alone, but no. She says, oh, well, there he goes in the van. And so the cop goes after him and murders him. You don't ever call these psychopaths on anyone you love.
And is telling the cop that she's upset that they broke up. She then points to Billinger, who's driving by in his van. Helbig then gets into his cruiser and pursues Billinger. When Billinger gets out of his van, he walks behind the house, and then Helbig confronts him as Billinger begins walking toward Helbig, saying, "Kill me."
Dispatch 322 code pursuit, southbound. Hey, come here! Come here, stop! Stop, come here! Stop! Let me see your hands! Show me your hands! Hey, stop right there, man! Stop! Stop! Stop, man! Hey, stop! Please, stop! Please, stop! Stop! Stop right there!
Officer Helbig, who was apparently so scared of an unarmed, mentally ill man that he figured his only option was deadly force, quickly obliged and murdered Billinger on the spot. Now guys, I'm not going to show that right here because YouTube will take my channel down, but I will leave a link to this full video in the description below. Officer Helbig never once attempted less lethal force. He simply killed a man because he was scared. The case was so egregious that Helbig was quickly indicted the following April. The indictment says Helbig fired one shot at Billinger, hitting him in the chest, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. It said the defendant acted recklessly with respect to his conduct described above and was not justified in the actions he took pursuant to the affirmative defenses of deadly force in the defense of a person and peace officers' use of deadly physical force. Helbig's police union appointed attorney disagreed and claimed that Helbig is trained to kill unarmed mentally ill people who walk toward him. And I'm not kidding. Gary Laszlo, Helbig's defense attorney, said, "The truth is, he did what he was trained to do. He acted in self-defense. He did what he needed to do to save his life." Exactly how this attorney could argue that Helbig acted in self-defense is a mystery. Never was Helbig's life in danger. Nobody's got any idea whether Billinger would have tried to hurt the cop or not because he was killed 10 or 15 feet away. In spite of this clear act of murder, the jury bought this defense attorney's nonsense hook, line, and sinker. The truth is, if this officer had a single ounce of courage, he would have at least attempted to use his taser or his baton, or he could have just wrestled the guy to the ground. The district attorney disagreed with the defense and pointed out how this cop getting away with murder is not okay. Weld County District Attorney Michael Rourke said, "What do you expect from law enforcement before they take a life? That can't be the standard in this community." Rourke argued quite accurately that Helbig never needed to be in a life or death situation. The officer had, quote, every opportunity to create time and distance. Helbig even knew backup was coming. Rourke asked the jury, why not stop there and assess the situation? But Helbig didn't stop there, and because of his cowardly actions and his ridiculous qualified immunity, a family now mourns the loss of their loved one. In a statement, the Billinger family said Sean was a man in crisis. He was mentally ill. Sean did not have to die on January 16, 2019. He was a dad, a grandpa, brother, son, and friend. He is missed by all who loved him. Like I said, I'm going to leave the link to the entire video in the description below. And as you watch it, remember the statement from Helbig's attorney and let it sink in. The attorney argued successfully that Helbig, a police officer, is trained to kill unarmed individuals who walk toward them. That's not disturbing. Nothing is. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. If you enjoy these videos, subscribe.
Like I said in last night's show, being mentally ill in the United States is now a death sentence. Okay? It's unbelievable to me how they do. You know, again, my nephew who's in the military, he will retire from the military. He's a first lieutenant military police. He's been to war. He's lost friends, and as his lieutenant at the time when he was a sergeant died in his arms. And it was at a military checkpoint, and a car bomb went off. And so anyway, but he will tell you they have. And if you watch Dana Ashley's channel from last night, if you watch my video from last night that premiered her video, they have, and you can watch other videos where she'll show where they have RF frequency transmitters where they could be mounted on police cars. Okay, they could literally be a crowd of 1,000 people and trying to riot, or one person ran and hid and they got away and they could see them in the crowd of 1,000 people. They can literally beam a ray of RF frequency at them and knock them out. They don't have to kill them. They can knock them out. Just like he could have, if he had something like that on his car, he could have pointed it at the guy, and as the guy's walking and still 20, 30 feet away, because you could do it like, I think it's up to like 1,000 feet away. He could have knocked him out in the backyard with that thing, and they could be mounted on police cars. But yet they won't do that. They'll spend millions of dollars, and the government will give them Humvees and all kind of crap. Well, why not give them the attached RF things to them Humvees that they're giving them? Because they're not trying to save us, people. They're trying to depopulate the earth. Did y'all not listen to what Bill Gates said last night in the video? How many times did they have to, did Dana Ashley hit replay on him saying depopulate the earth, depopulate the earth, depopulate the earth. It's truly what the devil, the deep state, wants to do. The devil is true, and I know some of you don't believe, but I do, okay? And some of you do. Satan is truly here on this earth, okay? You see it every day. And you can make no mistake, there is a lot of satanic people in our government. It's been going on for many, many years. And the Illuminati is real. The deep state, whatever you want to call them, human sacrifice does happen. Okay, people are being killed. These people, look how many people's been murdered. Almost everybody that ever goes up against Hillary gets murdered. You know what I mean? Every time somebody's got a little dirt, maybe there's potential chance on somebody going to prison on either side. They get murdered. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? It's just totally ridiculous. Yes, the Illuminati is very real. And, all you got to do is open your eyes and you can see this stuff. You can look for yourself and see what's going on. There's so much truth, even in cartoons. Look at this stuff, right? Did y'all know that 9/11 was predicted in even the Simpson cartoons? There's over 100 cartoons with 9/11. If y'all want me to, I'll find a link, and y'all can watch the over 100 cartoons with 9/11 in it before 9/11 happened, depicting 9/11, the Twin Towers getting hit by airplanes. This stuff, they know it's going to happen. They do it on purpose. They set it up, and then they tell us about it. And they joke and they laugh and they say, "Oh, look, we're going to show them in cartoons and this, that, and the other, and we're going to do it." And what are they going to do? We're going to show them though, because and I'm not perfect on some of this stuff, but in the creed of like even Freemasons and stuff, where they're trickery, but some kind of thing they have where they have to kind of show you, but they're tricking you at the same time they're showing you, and really they're just laughing about it. And so it's happening to us. And Disney, make no mistake, Disney is one of the most perverted companies in the world. I would never ever take any of my kids, even though I went, when we was kids, my mom took us to Disney. We didn't know no better. But now that I know better, I would never take a kid to Disney. I would let them never be a part of anything Disney. And if you watch most of their movies, there's some kind of sexual perversion in all of their movies. It's disgusting. Yeah, they control the population with fear, the media. That's exactly what's going on now with this coronavirus. I wish I wouldn't have said that. I may lose my channel. If I do, oh well, sorry. Hope not. But anyway, what's going on with that? They're like I was trying to say, I'm sad that people are dying, but it's not like it's really an outbreak and and all this stuff's happening, and it's man-made to begin with, number one. But number two, again, upwards of 70,000 people die every year of the flu. Why ain't we panicking about that? You know what I mean? It's just totally. Disney is a very scary place now. Oh, you can make no mistake about that. They control the population to fear it. Yeah. You didn't hear nothing. You didn't hear nothing about what, Bob? What are we talking about? Why did the Little Mermaid movie from Disney had some sexual parts? Yes, it did. The Hunchback of Notre Dame had sexual parts as well. Yeah, matter of fact, if you look it up, there's like there's several of the VCR jackets. You know how when you bought a VCR movie, it came in a plastic case. Some of them on the Little Mermaid had the outline of a penis on it, and it got sold. And they're being sold. I mean, you could probably find them online being sold somewhere now for lots of money. It's like sick perversion, man. And a lot of this stuff. Exactly, Chris Marcus, right. That's funny because where the house I was at yesterday for a little while, it was watching Bugs Bunny. And I actually loved it because I was like, dang, I used to watch that when I was a kid. And it was the actual Bugs Bunny cartoon, and it had the Broomhilda witch and was trying to get him. You know, it was just funny. And that's what I used to remember when I was a kid. The Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show used to come on every weekend, man. Couldn't wait to see it. But yeah, it's just totally ridiculous what they come out with. They sexually exploit our children. You know, they teach them all kind of lies about life and everything else at a way young age. They're teaching them sex at a way young age, and they're sexualizing everything. I don't know. So anyway, I know I'm getting off topic on a lot of this stuff. I'm just chatting now that the news show is actually over. So the ones that wanted more news, that's it. Right. Well, exactly. That's why I did that, Vet Tech Kimmy. That's why I did that, Dana Ashley. I hope y'all went to Dana Ashley's channel and followed her and watched her Five Goons stuff and her V stuff. I don't like to say it here. I don't want to lose my channel. But Sega, Nintendo, Capcom, and other video games companies in Japan have several ties to Japan. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Everything we do, you can make no mistake. We don't know. I mean, like right now, my computer could be looking at me sending whatever, and your computer and anybody's phone. Snowden done told us they watching and listening to everything we doing, everything we say, make no mistake, it's going on. It ain't stopped. They just reenacted the Patriot Act. Did y'all know that? Yep. They just reenacted the Patriot Act. With all this FISA abuse going on, they reenacted the Patriot Act. Now, how about that? We're not gaining more rights, people. We're losing more of our rights. Look into stuff like the red flag laws. I keep saying it. Yeah, it's called grooming, Bob. You're exactly right. It's indoctrination. Look at the red flag laws. Look at what they did in Virginia. Now, again, it's on the table for a year, but the governor, once, the governor took over, got elected, and the new governor took over, he tried to ban all what they call assault weapons, okay? Any rifle that shot more than so many bullets at a time, whatever. But that's even like, that there's no such thing as an assault weapon. And so a 223, AR-15, all that is, AR stands for Armor Light Rifle, the name of the company. It does not stand for assault rifle, okay? There's no such thing as an assault rifle. There is no such thing as an assault rifle. A rifle has never assaulted anyone. There's no such thing as an assault knife. There's no such thing as an assault bat. There's no such thing as an assault hammer. It takes the person who's using whatever that particular weapon is to assault somebody with it. And Armalite, AR stands for Armor Light Rifle 15. Okay, it's a 223 rifle. Now look up like a Browning 223 rifle. It's a deer rifle. Shoots just as many bullets, just looks different. Okay, so let me read some of this. Now the children watch violent robots that are far more violent and play video games and promote to teach war. Exactly. I got a lot of good moral stories from Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies. Yeah, I used to love them. Like I said, I thought they was great. We need more people to understand what First Amendment auditors are. We need more people to watch cop watch videos, and they will come. Well, see, now, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of my friends now. Don't get me wrong. I have some of them that are entrenched and will never fully come to our side, but I have several of them that are realizing that the cops ain't as good as they thought. You know what I mean? And I have had a few that has come to our side, but I've had a few admit that, well, there's less good cops than they thought, and they didn't realize as bad that there was as many of them as bad out there as there is. And my whole thing is just like High Desert or any other auditor that maybe has said it in the past when they're out auditing, you're talking to a cop. Have you ever turned in one of your cop friends for violating the citizens' rights? No, no. And the ones, if there is every once in a while that they do, well, okay, I'll give them props. You know, maybe there is that good one every once in a while. And I've done stories on it where they've turned them in. But anyway, it's I don't have no bonus video for tonight about a good cop thing because I totally forgot to do that. And but I'll bring one tomorrow night. Okay, y'all check this out. So I'm gonna be going live tomorrow night. Tomorrow, or there's gonna be a Trump rally here, and I'm gonna go see what it's all about. It's gonna be right down about 2 miles from my house. I'm gonna go see what the people have to say. It's probably going to be titled something like, because a lot of people say Trump supporters are racist. So I'm going to go ask questions. I'm going to go see what it's like. I'm going to go see what what it's like to be around a group of thousands of Trump supporters, and I'll ask questions. So y'all come with me and ask the questions too. Y'all be there and say, hey, ask me, tell me what to ask them, what to ask the people that are there, and I'll try to talk to both sides and see what each people think, and we'll see how it goes. But that's part of what my news story will be tomorrow night. We're going to go to a Trump rally and see. I'm not going to go inside because they said you got to get there about, if you want to make sure you get inside, you need to get there about 18 to 20 hours early, but at least 13 hours early to maybe squeeze in at the back end. And if you're not, you're going to be outside watching on the TVs. Basically, all I'm going to do is just to do some interviews of both sides, and let's see what happens. God will definitely watch out for me. He has so many times. I don't know why, but he has. I'm gonna tell you, I hit a car head on a motorcycle when I was 15. Should have been killed. It was going. I was on a one-way road, and they was going the wrong way. They hit me head on, about killed me, and I'm still living from that. I've been poisoned on purpose. I lived through that. I've had some other bad stuff. Been in bad car accidents. Oh, I'll be all right. Listen, the one thing about it here, now listen, the one thing about it here is, Kimmy, and I appreciate you, Karen, definitely I do, is that our law enforcement here, they would love to pop off, and they ain't gonna let nothing happen, because this is, we don't, one thing about it, they don't put up with protests like that here. They will not put up with it. If somebody starts to fight, they'll jump in real quick because they want to be the ones doing the beating. Okay? So you can make no mistake. That kind of stuff really ain't going to happen here. And another thing, I can swing out with the best of them. I'm 50 something now, but I can still get down if I had to. I don't want to because I'm old and I had back operation a year and a half ago, and I really don't want to do that, but if I have to, I will defend myself. Oh yeah, I sure was. Patricia, I was poison in my life. I had some other bad things happen too. Yeah. Story about 4 years ago, a cop was turning and bad police officers. They switched partners on him, and he was killed. Oh yeah, they'll do that. You make no mistake about it. They'll set him up and say a gang member or something killed him and set that gang member up. I'm not going in 1 minute early. I wouldn't be caught dead. Yeah, I hear you, Eric. Well, like I said, I'm not going to go in anyway. I wouldn't sit there all that time to go in. But I'm a news channel, and I haven't been to a Trump rally, so they're coming here less than 2 miles from my house. I might as well go see what the hype is and see what both sides have to say. And you never know, I might get attacked. I hope not. Louis, I love you too, my brother. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate y'all. Y'all, I'll be live streaming. Oh, I will not be there. Look, that's going to be part of my show. I'll be live streaming or I won't be there. If y'all won't be there, I won't be there. I'm going to take both of my cameras, both of my phones, and then that way if the battery dies on one, I may even might go buy a battery pack tomorrow. But if the battery dies on one, I'll be going on the other. But like I said, like I tell y'all each and every night, I'm humbled by y'all's presence. I love hanging out with you guys. I appreciate your friendship, and I enjoy coming here and being a part of y'all's lives as well. I thank y'all for praying with the ones that pray. When we pray for people, and it helps them too, and they feel it, and they love it, and they feel the love from the community, and it helps. Believe it. It helped me, and I know it helps them. They tell me so. And we built a pretty good little family. There's a lot of us in here who is always in other people's channels who, we're like a small community of people who are just trying to support each other, So. Woman cop that turned in a couple cops was retaliating for big time, I think. Oh yeah, right. Where that where that kid got killed on that 4-wheeler, Eric. Where that cop tasered him and he wrecked in the back of that truck and killed him, and then she turned him in. Yeah. Oh, it wasn't. Oh, was. Oh yeah, it was. Okay, yeah. About the 4-wheeler, exactly, Bob. Yep. Brother said. Patricia, that was crazy. Brothers say what I said, that was a Democrat, but love you still. Oh, I know. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, Louis just outed himself, so because I said that I'm friends with a Democrat. Because I'm not a Republican, y'all. I'm an independent. I vote for whoever would be best for this country. New York Tyrant Hunter, what's up? I'm glad you stopped by. I appreciate you doing that. Y'all make sure y'all go to NC Tyrant Hunter's channel and show support to him as well. And go to his live streams at times. I'll have a great night. Hey, thank you for showing up, Oregon Rogue. I appreciate you being here. I try to bond to the other channels. They just don't say anything cool, so I stay silent supporting their channels anyway. Well, that's cool. I appreciate you doing that, Patricia Walton. Yeah, she was told to cut off her body cam. Yeah, exactly. I'm glad she didn't, Eric. Yeah, and I even say the same thing, that sometimes it's not about, getting all the notifications from everybody. If you're not sure about them, or you're not, or, you're just like, well, look, man, I got so many I'm already getting every day. Okay, I understand. Then don't turn on the bell notifications. Just subscribe to them, or shoot, I shouldn't have said that. Just follow them to help them, build their numbers up, um, and then as they get better and get more content that you like, you can always go back and check in because you're following them. So yeah. See, I'm an independent, Kimmy. Here's the thing with me. Okay, all right. Just like here, Tim Scott is a Republican. He's a black senator here, and I love Tim Scott. I would vote him in as president. I would vote for him as a president because he's so smart, and he's a great senator, and he's done a lot for this state, but he's also done a lot for this country. He is the one who invented opportunity zones, and that's helping millions of people in all states, okay? And that's just something that, you got to be proud of. But now we got Lindsey Graham, who's a Republican who I can't stand. He's a criminal, he's a crook, he's a liar, and I don't understand how he keeps getting voted in office every year, okay? And then we got Joe Cunningham, who's a Democrat, who is a liar, who is a cheat, who is a, so it's both sides here. And then we have our governor, who is a corrupt governor, and he's a Republican. So listen, I will not follow either one of those corrupt parties. Jeff is here. Audits, what's up? Y'all make sure y'all follow Jeff is here. Audits, thank you for showing up, my brother. Appreciate you coming in and showing me some support. Y'all make sure y'all go check out Jeff's panel. He has a panel about every night. But look, just go check him out. Make sure y'all come back at 9 and do my show and then go back to see him again. He's bigger than I am. I love that, man. Jeff is a great man. He's a good friend of mine. And actually, he's somebody you should show some love to, definitely. But anyway, so getting back to it, that's why I'm a libertarian. I want liberty and justice for all, and I want less government. Okay, but if a Democrat is good and he's going to do good things for the country and he's proved himself and this, that, and other, I'd vote for him. If a Republican, same thing. So it's you got to do your homework and then choose your heart. And it may be somebody that you don't like or whatever. And then a lot of people say, well, I don't vote. I'm not going to vote. Da, 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 da. Well, if you're not going to vote, you might as well give up on the Constitution, because you're giving up part of the Constitution is your right to vote. And okay, you may say, oh, it don't work. Well, you got to give it a try. Here's the deal. Your person may win and it may change to be in your favor. Okay. But to not vote, then you might as well not show up here every night and fight for the First Amendment. And I'm not being rude. I want you to show up here every night. Please don't stop. Okay? But I'm just saying, no, I'm just a little fish in a big pond. Oh, I'm joking, my brother. I love you, man, but you bigger than I am. And I love you, man. Your content is great. You're out there pounding the pavement, and you're such a big-hearted fella. And I just love you, dude. I do. I appreciate you coming down here and spending time with me. I appreciate you driving down here today at my mom's funeral. I really do. It meant a lot to me that you would take the time out and come down here and want to be with me. So I thank you for that. Just know that it's never changed for me. I appreciate it. But anyway, that being said, I kind of got off track, so I don't remember exactly where I was at. But oh, there you go. So in my opinion, and these are all just my opinions, y'all, and I don't ever want y'all to do what I do, but if you love the First Amendment and your Second Amendment and the Constitution, and you want your Fourth Amendment and Fifth Amendment rights and stuff, then you got to be a part of keeping the Constitution safe, because there are people in Congress right now that want to do away with the Constitution. Now listen, I'm not making it up. I'll play the video. If you say, hey, tomorrow night, bring one of the videos where you hear a congressperson saying we should do away with the Constitution, and I'll bring you one. You can Google it and find them. Okay? So, but the thing is, if you're not going to vote for even your city mayors, your local government, your congressman, your local congressman, then you're not helping. You're really not. You got to spend that couple hours standing in line to go down there, and a few hours to say your piece. And then the mayor that you wanted may be elected because a group of y'all decided that, hey, let's get together and go support this mayor. He sounds great. Sounds like he's going to get rid of police corruption. Now, that's what Keith Summey in North Charleston did. Keith Summey is actually a really good mayor. Now, I don't live in North Charleston, so I can't vote for him. Okay? But if I did live in North Charleston, I would vote for him, because he actually turned North Charleston was a crime-ridden. I mean, there was crime almost on every street. You could drive up and down Montague Avenue from Rivers Avenue to Park Circle, and there would be a drug dealer on every street. You could get pretty much whatever you want. You could drive up to them, they'd reach in the window, you wanted crack or whatever else, you could get it, while cops, marked patrol cars, would drive right on past and wouldn't even slow down. That's how bad the crime was. We had a place here called Sproul Avenue. You can look it up. Prostitutes would walk up and down the road all hours of the night, pimps everywhere. Keith Summey cleaned that up. Now North Charleston still have some crime-ridden neighborhoods, but it's cleaned up a lot, and he's got a lot of industry brought here. He helped bring Boeing here. So did Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley and Keith Summey actually worked on Boeing together because Boeing's in North Charleston. He was the mayor, and she was the governor at the time. So, you know, there are good things that happen. You know, we had a good governor in Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley was a real good person, and she was for justice for people. So, you know, in my belief, if you're going to be a part of the exactly, voter fraud is exposed every year. So you're not only fighting voter fraud, but you're fighting yourself when you won't go vote. So you're not only letting the voter fraud happen, but then you're also giving up another vote that you could be potentially turning around the voter fraud. You know, we get people elected due to voter fraud. George Soros has, and you can look this up, this ain't me saying it, this is stuff you can look up, it's the Freedom of Information Act, has dumped billions of dollars into electing a lot of these attorney generals that are in these states who are saying, no, we're not going to arrest these criminals anymore that are breaking the law, going in these stores and ripping people off, or if they armed rob you on the street, we're going to arrest them, but we're going to let them out with no bail. And they're going to go right back to doing it again, like it's happening in New York and in California. Okay? I mean, you know. Pretty much, Patricia, to an extent, I agree with you. DeCambra, I agree with you on a lot of what you're saying. But then again, you know, and that's what I'm saying about the George Soros and what happened there. He dumped a bunch of money in. So you're right, it does. But if we're going to try to combat it, then we need to go down and try to combat it. And again, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on, but we have to try. You know, we really got to try. If we just give up and say, well, they're going to get it because they're whatever, then really, you know, we might as well just give it all up and sit at home and watch the football games along with the sleep people. Watch the football games, Hollywood, and everything else, you know. We just really do need to try to be a part of the solution. And I just don't agree with saying that, you know, it's so corrupt that I'm not going to waste my time. Shit. How much time do you waste here with me every night? So add that up for a week and then say, I'm going to go stand in line for that amount of time, and I'm going to skip Swamp Show for a week, and I'm going to go do something that from 9 to 11 or 9 to 10 or however long he's going to be on for a week, and I'm going to take that time that I gave up watching his show, and I'm going to hate to lose you for that week, but if that's what it takes, please go stand in line and vote for your local, state, and city government, and also when it's time to vote for your senators or your congressman or your president, I would do it. Yeah, that's just a suggestion. Sorry. But anyway. Thank you, Patricia Walton. I appreciate it. Let me see. Should never be able to turn their cameras off. They should automatically go to the. Yeah, exactly. What is the use, Eric Johnson? And what is the use of not having, and having the cameras if they get to turn them off? Here in South Carolina, we're not allowed to even FOIA request them. You literally have to go to court if you want. It's not even going in just FOIA requesting it, then you get it. Here, if you want video from a dash cam or a body cam, you have to go to court. You have to get a lawyer, go to court, and fight why you should get it. And there has to be a mitigating circumstance as to maybe prove a case for you to help you in order to get that. Otherwise, you're not getting it. You're not just getting it for you. So what is the use in having it? You know, I mean, it's a shell game. Let's see, voters. Patricia Walton, that was part of the problem. Or throw a cigarette out of a car window, had a friend. That's what happened to you. We still have dead people voting. Yep, that's right. We still have dead people voting, so we're fighting against that too. Vote harder. Vote. Bob Homestead says vote harder, people. I worked at the polls during the general election. Every electronic voting machine in Sonoma County broke down. I knew Trump won that morning. The Democrats used the voting machines to cheat. Yep, I totally agree. They even proved that, so you're absolutely right, Patricia. Eric Johnson, I believe it was planned that way. They knew there would be a need of covering up. That's Vet Tech Kimmy. Patricia Walton, you're worth it, Swamp. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. Y'all are all worth it too. I love coming here and spending time with y'all. Bob Homestead, let them know voting don't count. um, Eric Johnson, Kimmy, Patricia, Cameron, we need to combat it at a local level first and move up. Right, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. We need to, at least if y'all don't agree with going out and you think it's a waste of time for the general elections for Washington for anything there. Okay, all right. Let's start somewhere there. Go to your local town hall meetings and things like that, and let's get started there. That's the only way we're going to pass things to get these local. If we got a bad mayor who won't do anything about the bad cops, then we need to at least stand up and say, well, heck with the presidency or senators. Let's do our local mayors first, and let's start there, and then see how that goes. If we get some of that changing, then maybe it might make you think that, well, hey, it is worth it. Let's go do that. Because, hey, even here in my state, while I was on paper, I couldn't vote. But luckily I'm in a state that once the day you're off probation or any kind of paper or anything, you can vote. So that's awesome. And also, y'all gonna laugh, and some friends of mine does laugh, and it's okay. But hey, if I needed to defend myself and defend my home, it'd kill you just as fast as anything else you could buy today would. Because I'm a felon, I can't legally carry a gun of today, so I have black powder guns, which are legal, and so, and they killed millions of people in history, so it's just funny though. I laugh all the time about that, and so do some of my friends. All right, Ronald, let's see. We need to come in. Ronald Reagan was elected by one of the largest majorities in history. Ronald Reagan was the worst president in my 63 years of life. Well, Ronald Reagan, he was a good jobs president, but people do think he was a great president for many reasons because of the jobs and the economy and stuff. And at the time, that was good. But what he was bad for, and what a lot of people don't realize is, he was not a good person for bringing in the drugs, the Iran-Contra affair. But not only him, Carter too. Carter had his hand in that. They both did, and but the crack epidemic became an epidemic because of Reagan. He wanted to use the money through the CIA. He let them funnel the drugs into the United States to support his war on the Iran-Contra affair. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, but yeah. So what are we giving up for that? I mean, we're giving up. The economy and jobs was good at the time, but we're destroying America with crack. So it's totally ridiculous. Chris, I agree. I can see how the world changed after Reagan. The 70s looked good, and then Reagan, the country went. Yeah, because of all the crack. I mean, well, the crack was brought here by him. We had a crack epidemic, and it went on for years. I mean, it really did. It ruined many people's lives. Mike Pence came from our state. Yeah, he came from Indiana. And now Mike Pence is Illuminati too. And like Mike Pence is not a good person. He's not. He's a fake Christian. I'm gonna tell you that right now. He's part of this problems. And look, he don't like Trump, and he's not on Trump's side. You can even he's like they caught him under the hot mic. Go to the gunner's wife. You'll see on her channel where she shows you him talking trash about Trump to Nancy Pelosi. He gets caught. They don't realize that they go. Then he goes, "Oh no!" He tells Nancy, "Oh, we're on video." You know what I mean? it just totally blows my mind. It's so funny. But see, the thing is they all have dirt on each other, right? You know, Mike Pence is not a good guy. He is definitely part of the notorious group. You can make no mistake about that. So I think Jimmy Carter has been my favorite president in my lifetime. He's a good. Well, you know, he does a lot of good as far as Habitat for Humanity and stuff like that. And you know, I will admit that. But you know, he was part of the Iran Contra affair. So you know, I don't know how good he was then. He may be a better man now. People do change. I changed, so I can say that he could be a changed man. And I do think he's done a lot of great things with Habitat for Humanity. That is an awesome thing, and he has changed a lot of people's lives for the better doing that. I do think at this point in his life, and for many years now, even decades, he has been a pretty good person and a good role model. But back then, not so much with that, with the Iran Contra affair stuff. But you know, again, people change, and we're all sinners, and we all, um, make mistakes. So you know, again, like I said, I do think he's a good person now. So. All right. That's BS. They shouldn't be available for everybody. I missed something, Eric Johnson. I didn't catch what that was. That was what the corporate U.S. is full of actors. Yeah, you're right about that. Ronald Reagan cut taxes and also increased government spending. We need statesmen, not politicians. We need representatives, not leaders. Exactly. CIA government help with the crap. Yep, exactly. That's what I was saying. The Iran Contra affair, if MedTech Kimmy was, ran by the CIA. They funneled the drugs in. That's like Freeway Ricky Ross. I mean, they got him to sell the drugs in different states, and then they railroaded him and ended up locking him up for what they was letting him do and getting him to do. He was getting the drugs from the CIA, and he went to prison. Totally ridiculous. Yep, the CIA introduced crack to the American population in LA and Oakland County. That's exactly right. I like Jimmy, truly a good man, maybe not the best. Right, well, that's what I'm saying, Vet Tech Kimmy. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong. I do think he's a good man. So when I originally said that, it was only about the Iran Contra affair then. I think he's came a long way since, you know, I mean, he's one of the most charitable people alive. You know what I mean? And you know, he's done so much great for a lot of people. I mean, thousands of people have a better life because of his organization and the things that he's done. So yeah, he is a good man now. He made mistakes back then, but we listen. I made mistakes back when, and look at me now. You know, so I'm a believer. I'm a firm believer in second chances, third chances, and even fourth. Let's see. It's like, look, is it take care of disease that's going on right now? That's why your president said. Well, like I was saying, it's not really. It's a fake disease anyway. They made it up. It's a man-made thing. One, and a lot of it's probably even got to do with the 5 goons. 2 and 3, it's 30 to 25 to 70,000 people a year die of the flu here every year. It's not like we ain't rushing out being panicked and scared about that. You know what I mean? It's really just a deep state conspiracy to try to scare everybody into freaking out about it. So they go out and spend massive amounts of money on things. Also, you know, to protect them. And they got these companies who make this stuff. And you don't think that these food selling places that sell these doomsday kits are, a lot of these people are invested in it? You don't think that? They make these stories up so you will run out and buy these doomsday food kits and stock up on them, which is not a bad thing to have some, but I know people right now that's got thousands of dollars worth of this stuff. It's like unbelievable. And the reason they do it is they push these things for that. They're invested in a lot of these companies. It's all a big shell game. Patrick Camera, I agree with that. He put solar panels on the White House. Reagan had them removed as soon as he took office. Security seemed to be pretty happy with that. Well, we was fighting with Iran at the time when they took them 50 soldiers and stuff, and Reagan got them back. So that was a pretty good thing. But like I said, I ain't taking nothing away from Carter. I really ain't. And maybe if I sounded like I was when I first started, I didn't mean to make it sound like that. That was just me saying about the Iran concept fair piece. But he is a good man. Let's see. Mike Pence is scary. Yeah, look at him. He's dead, dude. Look at his eyes. Anytime you can look into his eyes when you see him on stage, dude, he's not there. He's a zombie. Oh, let me tell y'all something too. If y'all don't believe in entities, y'all know what an entity is? A demon or whatever? Listen, I'm going to show y'all a video. I'm going to find it and I'm going to show y'all a video. And if after y'all watch this video, y'all tell me what you think. And here's what's going to happen. Okay. There's a right side and a left side. Hold on one second. There's a right side and a left side of the Senate floor, right? Just like if you're walking into courthouse, you know how the defendant sits on one side and the prosecution sits on the other. So, and then the judge will be sitting behind them, right, or in front of them, right, and the people will be facing them. So, Chuck Schumer comes walking in from down the hallway, and so he's coming towards the camera, and so we would be the judges looking at him, right? So he comes to the right. And there's a lady sitting in the chair, and he pats her on the back, and he says something to her. Well, his chair is on the left side. Now, this is his left and our right. If we're facing him like the judges, it'll be on the right. His chair was on the right. So he turns around. Now, we don't see anybody sitting in his chair. Okay, there's nobody that we, you, or me, or anybody that's watching this video would physically be able to see anyone sitting in the chair, okay? But after he talks to the lady, he turns around and looks. You can see him. He kind of like startles and he's surprised. It looks like somebody's sitting, like he's surprised that somebody's sitting in the chair. And you see him point and tell him, "Get out of my chair," like that. You can tell him. You can see him saying, "Get out of my chair." Then it takes a second, and he's looking like somebody just got up and moved out of his chair, and then he sat down. It is unbelievable. When you watch this video, it's going to trip you out because you're going to say, who the heck was he telling to get out of his chair? And you'll see him make the gesture. You'll see him turn around and look. You'll see him be startled. And it's going to blow your mind. Let's see. Yes, he created peace in the Middle East and Reagan King. I didn't know that Patricia thinks, I guess. It would be scary. He is a dirtbag. He's selfish. Mike is scary, yeah. I didn't know that. Brother, Russia, North Korea don't got the disease. You ain't heard nothing from what's up with that. Yeah, right, because there ain't 5G there, 1, and 2, because they're not part of getting any of this money. See, where the deep state is where this money's going, and so any country that ain't getting it, 1 ain't got 5 goons, and 2 ain't got. They're not getting part of this money. They're not part of our deep state. They are deep state in other countries. You know, Russia's not good either. There's a story about the hostages that were in Iran. A story about treason during an election. Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. The media is hiking this thing up for proportions. I've got an 80-year-old mother losing her mind because of this. Exactly, that's what I'm telling you, Patrick. Yeah, it's all hyped up on purpose. It's to well, many different reasons. Some of the deep state's trying to bring down the stock market, which is happening because of the global pandemic that's going on. And you know, it's still, it hasn't even killed as many people. Say, for instance, they're going 1,000 people's quarantine. Well, that don't mean 1,000 people's got it. It don't mean one person's got it. And did you know that one of the ships that was quarantined in Japan did not have one case of the virus on it, where the other ship that had the 5 goons on it did? And so that's why we're talking about 5 goons as being part of this. Okay? Y'all really need to go to Dana Ashley's channel and watch her. I mean, I played the video last night on my channel, but go to her channel. Make sure you telling these, like her and High Impact Vlogs, that I sent you. If you go there, let's see. Jimmy Carter was a disaster as a president. He weakened the American military, and inflation was off the charts. The prime interest rate was 21%. John, thank you for being here. He's probably saying Donald Trump was a loser. Patrick, the camera, there's a story about the hostage. Media, so yeah. I love you too, my brother Louis. Even though you're a Democrat, I still love you. I'm an independent, in case some people are coming in. I'm not a Republican. Don't ever call me a Republican. Please, and don't ever call me a Democrat. Oh, you're awesome, Swamp. Well, you're awesome too, Patricia. I love you, and I love you all. Yeah, I'm independent, y'all. I independently think for myself. I don't follow no party. You know, I look into the people that I vote for, and if I and I make mistakes, I vote for the wrong people sometimes. I really do. But you know, I try to choose on what's going to be best for the economy, the economy, the country, and the citizens that are in it. And so I always say vote your conscience, but I do say we need to vote. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and cut it. Been on an hour and a half. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to say goodbye. I want to remember a few people. That's how we learn. Exactly, Vet Tech Kim. I do want to say to each and every one of you that are still here, thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up tonight. To the ones who have came and already left, thank you all. Also, if you come back and get a recap on anything, I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm humbled by your friendship and the fact that you come spend time with me when you do. If you have any kind of other social media, please share this link for me. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're not. Oh man, I shouldn't have said that. Follow if you're not. I will be back tomorrow night at 9. Let's remember a few people in our prayers or love and best wishes. We want to remember, excuse me, Anon 1. He's going through some health issues, and we need to keep him in our prayers that he makes a quick recovery. We also need to remember Mama Gnome and Harry Bonsell, as Mama Gnome's mother is having some health issues right now. We're praying that she makes a full, quick recovery. From what I heard, Oklahoma Community Watch made it to California to his mother. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with her right now, but I am under the impression that he did make it through all of our donations. So thank y'all for that. To everyone who was able to donate, even 50 cents or $1 or whatever he was able to do, we was able to get him travel money to make it to see his mother. He lived in Oklahoma. She lived in California, and she was very ill, critically ill, and was soon to pass. So thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for coming together and getting one of our brothers to see his mother, or at least be there for her. Let's have one. Thanks. You're a great brother. Good night. God bless you. Thank you too, Patricia. And God bless you. John Carter was a huge globalist. He was a CFR and Children's Commission member. J.W. Bronsky was his chief advisor. Dems and Republicans are both compromised. Yes, they definitely are. Both compromised. We love you, Swamp. Later. Love you too, Kimmy, and you have a great night, darling. Good night. You're doing a great service to your listeners and the community. Thank you, my brother Louie. I appreciate you and always will. Anyway, also want to keep in our prayers and thoughts and best wishes again is Kim Johnson. Um, that she's still battling a little bit of fatigue and trying to make it through it. And also Sewer Dog the Patriot 420 with bad headaches. And let's see. I'm trying to think, was there anybody else? Okay, yeah, Bubba Chambers had some friends pass recently. I believe Storm was one of them's name. Sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head, but we just need to pray for all of them. Okay, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and go. Prayers for everyone. That's right. And I hope y'all have a great night. Tomorrow night at 9, another Newscast News Blast. I'll have some great stories for you guys and gals. I love each and every one of you. I hope God blesses each and every one of you and helps y'all have a prosperous life. Remember, if anybody needs to reach out to me, feel free to call me at this number here, 843-554-4336. You can call me. If you don't get me, leave me a text message, and I will call you back as soon as I can. I can't wait to come back to Pit Bricks, and I can best time ever. I love you too, brother, and looking forward to it. Thank you, Patrick DeCambra, for being here. Sorry I called you Patricia when you first came in. I didn't have my glasses on. But thank you, brother, and I love you. Appreciate you showing up, and I hope to see you tomorrow night. And Saturday night for my cooking show, y'all, I'm making homemade meatballs. It's a really good recipe. It's a bestseller recipe. I actually won a contest. I made the contest. I tested it, and I won. I gave myself a trophy. No, I'm just playing. Listen, they really are good. I'll show up and I'll show you how to make some really good meatballs. Hope y'all have a great night. God bless everyone.